number 6 Darby and the number 9 Shepherd of Richard Jenkins. Red lights go on and out and away they go. And it's a pretty good start. One not getting away quite so well is the number 70 car of Martin Depper at the back of the grid, but it's Peter Bove with the lead. Mark Glover there in second position. Ollie Collett there has made a good start, but Richard Rothery out of the blocks like a scalded cat there. He is already up a few places as well. He was late on the brakes for Hatchett's hairpin. I think they've all got around safely this time, with Peter Bove leading the way from the rest of the field as they stream through that left-hander.
Yeah, Rothery got around Chris Goff and Richard Jenkins, I think, as well. So maybe 2 places picked off by the number 17 car that started in 7th place. Peter Bove, though, away as the race leader and jostling for 3rd and 4th positions. Ollie Collett there, heading down towards Brooklands. All getting through there safely. Just ahead of Collett then, Simon Bolter from 3rd position. So it's Collett that's made the spots, 2 of them gained in the space of, 6 corners on this opening lap. And actually slotting through to 3rd in the background there at Carter's.
Yeah, let's just confirm that then as they come through Honda. The top 2 right together. Collett there in 3rd place then. Yes, the number 31 car. Simon Bolter 4th. Richard Rothery is 5th. And Richard Jenkins is 6th. But if you can have a look at the 2 leaders there heading down towards Hatchett's, we can see out of our window that they were pretty much side by side. Just there they are on screen now. So Mark Glover taking the fight to Peter Bove here. Glover, who down in 5th of the championship before the start of this weekend and dropping back further with that non-start yesterday. He is keen to start to take some points away from Peter Bove here if he's going to have any chance of snatching the championship back from Peter Bove, who's won it for the last 2 seasons. Very experienced Peter Bove. He's been racing in this championship for decades, and Glover in it for quite a few years now. He raced in low costs previously, but has switched to 750 Formula with this race kit's Falcon that it built, and which this year has new bodywork on it as well. I must say it looks very smart indeed.
Briefly, yellow flags at Hatchett's at the start of this lap because of a melee that I think everyone scampered away from, but it was Collett just ahead of then some overlapping with Simon Bolter and Richard Rothery, I think, as well. Lead us back across the line, and yes, green flags being waved once again at Hatchett's as to the outside will go Glover. Likes that line where he can cut back to the inside then for Spitfires and maybe take the race lead away from Peter Bove. Yes, he's done it. Brilliant.
Absolutely fantastic from Mark Glover then. So I think we've got a race on our hands here. The other thing that Peter Bove was telling you yesterday, Johnny, was that he's very keen to get this long-standing lap record as well. That's a 1 minute 4 dead from Bob Simpson. It's 14 years old, that lap record. On that lap, Bove and Glover did identical lap times, a 105.02. So they've both got just over a second to make up to try and get that record away from Bob Simpson, who raced in the championship for more than 50 years, and his grandson now, Jake Doherty, is on the grid in his car, in his stead, and he's running in 11th place at the moment with the fight back on for the lead here.
To the inside goes Peter Bove at Carter's curve, but not quite given the space to be able to utilise a quick line on the exit of that corner. Wanted to try and warn out wide, but realised there wasn't the space there. So again, good forward-thinking driving from Peter Bove. We'd expect nothing less to get out of that. For the risk that it was going to carry. Now to the inside at Hatchett's hairpin from a long, long way back. Peter Bove will get the race lead again.
I think Mark Glover saw him coming and kept out of the way there, I must admit, just wanting to make sure there was no contact between the pair. So Glover has lost quite a bit of time because of that. He did actually get the fastest lap of the race, a 104.89. So 9/10 of a second outside the lap record, but he did get the fastest lap, but he has lost the lead now to Peter Bove. So number 1 in that Derby that was built by Dick Carvey for Ernie Frost originally, that car. But Bove down the years has had 45 race wins, the majority of them in that car, might be a few more than 45 with the victories he's had already during the course of the 2022 season, I should add. Mark Glover there in second place, so about 6 seconds clear now of Ollie Collett in 3rd place in his race kits Falcon. You can just about see him in the distance in the background there, but these two do seem to have a bit of an advantage over the rest of them this weekend, Johnny.
Yeah, the gap is ever growing. There's now a drama though for Hugh Davis in the Class B car. Hugh, number 21, sadly being wheeled into retirement in the Phoenix Fire Mark II, and I assume he just pulled off the road in a safe manner. That's actually at the end of the start-finish straight, isn't it? So being pushed the wrong way into pit lane, but safe to do that by the marshal. So that's a shame after not nearly 5 minutes of this race. But Peter Bove, Mark Glover, we were making the point now, 7 seconds clear of everyone else.
And while all that was happening, Peter Bove has done it. He's got the lap record that he wanted. So, I don't know, maybe this will tempt Bob Simpson back out of semi-retirement to try and get the lap record back. I don't know. He's done a 103.33, Peter Bove now, to pull away now from Mark Glover. 0.6 of a second between them, and it is now more than 7 seconds back to Ollie Collett in third. He in turn has got about 3 seconds to Richard Rothery, who's there in fourth place now. I think he got ahead of Simon Bolter on the previous lap.
Well, that's what Peter wanted. Of course, it wasn't going his way particularly when he slipped behind Mark Glover, so the issues were twofold. Hang on a minute. Hang on.
Mark Glover, 103.31. Well, Peter Bove, my friend, you've got some work to do again, because Mark Glover's now taken that lap record off you, and he's getting closer to you as well in the fight for the lead. Just coming up to lap the 67 car of Paul Mason as well. There's Chris Goff. He's making a place on Simon Bolter at Hatchett's Head. He's gone to fifth now. It's all happening in this race.
So Mark Glover presumably making use of a bit of a tow that he is picking up from Peter Bove's car. These cars are aero dependent to an extent, so won't go so well in the draft of another, but that time around Mark Glover making it work for him perfectly. He's only half a second off the back of the race leader Peter Bove. There is Chris Goff in the CCR2 Evo, running in 6th position right now, with behind him Bill Rutter in the, no, that's Simon Bolter, who's got by, in fact, since they last crossed the line. So the blue and red car of Simon Bolter, which is another Derby, like the race leader Peter Bove, who leads by only half a second.
Yep, so there is Goff. He was runner-up in the championship last year. They're sort of all going through to lap that Paul Mason number 67 Derby. As we watch the two leaders, this time there's 0.6 of a second between them. This time there's no improvement in the lap record, although they're both underneath the old lap record, I should say, set by Bob Simpson though all those years ago. Jake Doherty can tell you he's made his way up into 10th place now. And Martin Kemp actually did get out into the race. I don't think it's his correct grid position. He must have started from the back, but he is there into 11th position now. Martin Kemp in the number 42 car.
So just about the full quota of cars. Unfortunately, though, we lost Hugh Davis not too long ago. We actually qualified with 16 yesterday, 15 started, now 14 run, and it's nose to tail over the crossing for the scrap for 10th position. Jake Doherty under pressure. There's that Martin Kemp behind in the 42, yeah, in the Race Kits Falcon.
Yeah, so that car you can see the SSF. It's still got Bob Simpson's name on the side of it, but now in smaller letters underneath, the name of his grandson Jake Doherty, who's driving the car this weekend. Peter Bove, look, he's got the lap record back again at 103.06. He and Mark Glover are spurring each other on here, I think, to see who's going to get that mark. But good drive this from Jake. One of his first races, he did the meeting at Silverstone a few weeks ago. That was his debut, second event here at Pembrey. And he's acquitting himself very well here, taking 10th place overall. I'm sure he's going to get faster and faster as he continues to learn the circuits and learn about racing.
Well, that was Paul Mason making space for these two to creep through at Honda. But Glover's still finding speed as well, so despite the lap record now being in the hands of Peter Bove, it was an improvement for the second place Race Kits Falcon of Mark Glover, car number 4, down to a 103.2, but a 103 dead for Peter Bove. Can he get into the 102s, I wonder? He's only got 0.06 of a second to try and find, as now Martin Kemp trying to find a way by Jake Doherty as they head into the centre S's, but Doherty covers that line off well.
Yeah, leaders can tell you are a bit closer together again, less than half a second between them now, and they're down at Hatchett's hairpin. We're continuing to watch this battle for 10th though, Doherty and Kemp. And Kemp having a look up the inside as they go down to Carter's this time of Doherty, who leaves some space, and it looks like he's going to carry more speed through Honda is Doherty though, possibly, yes he does, and so he holds on to 10th position. There's just under 6 minutes of this race left to go.
So nothing between this duo. Elsewhere, really close still for the race lead. There were no improvements on lap time that time around, but clawing back 0.4 of a second, Mark Glover. So 0.48 is the gap as they started lap 9.
One to watch as well, it will be the battle for third place, because Richard Rothery closing in on Ollie Collett. He just did a PB. Richard Rothery, who was 9 tenths faster than Collett on the previous lap. So not only the battle for lead we need to watch, but the battle for third place as well. These, though, are the leaders, and the gap actually has gone out this time, I think, Johnny.
Yeah, by a small margin. Oh no, actually larger margin, because it was a bit of a delay before we got Mark Glover's lap time there. A second now, so Peter Bove doubles his advantage out front. It's a 103.5, which is a very respectable lap time again for the leading Derby 88P. And the race kits Falcon, whether that was a slight error from Mark Glover, not sure, but it's dropped him a bit further back. The good news is that Oliver Collett is a fair distance back now by 15 seconds or so, but Collett's just put in a personal best as well. Clearly track conditions are constantly improving. That's a bit more of the moisture dissipating, a bit more cloud cover as well, which will be liked by the race engines.
Yeah, it's still pretty cool, isn't it? It's not terribly warm yet here at Pembrey this morning. So, as you say, the Fiat engines will appreciate that a little bit more than if we'd got a very hot day. It's probably almost perfect conditions for really fast lap times. 14 degrees, we reckon, at the moment. I'm not sure it feels as warm as all that, to be honest with you. That time through, the gap had come down again to 8 tenths between Peter Bove and Mark Glover. And here we're watching Ollie Collett, because he has now lost out to Richard Rothery. Yeah,
Rothery through in the PRS 1B, so they were only separated by 6 tenths of a second at the start of the previous lap. They'll cross the line now with those positions reversed, and Rothery on course for a podium therefore. Collett across the line in 4th, Chris Goff still there in 5th, then Simon Bolter in the 2nd of the Derbies. Bill Rutter still there in 7th position. Car 17 is the 3rd place car there of Richard Rothery, gaining 3rd and starting to edge away a little bit now from Ollie Collett in 4th.
Off camera, there's a nice battle for 6th going on as well, with Bill Rutter in the ex-championship winning Baton, with Simon Bolter in the Derby. So watch out for that. Oh, we can just see popping on the screen there. Martin Kemp's got ahead of Jake Doherty as well, up into the top 10 with about 3 minutes of the race left to go. Are we going to see a change again in that 3rd, 4th and 5th place battle? Possibly we will. But,
hey, there you go.
As well. Peter Bove, 102.74. Have that, Mark Glover. Have that, Bob Simpson. Is there any comeback here? Oh, and problems for yesterday's runner-up. That was Richard Jenkins. We've not seen too much of him during the course of this race in the Shepherd, but it's new for 2022 Race Kits Falcon rear end. Clearly some problems with the car though, and sadly he's out of the race. Yeah, and doing the wise thing there, staying off the racing line, arm up to warn everybody else, but it's happened on a very quick part of the circuit between Brooklands and Honda, so some caution required. No doubt some white flags being displayed by the marshals as well, as Ollie Collett running in 4th position, still with Richard Rothery up ahead. Chris Goff's up maybe a little bit closer this time, so that one's spicing up in the final 2.5 minutes. There's Chris Goff's purple CGR2. And Bill Rutter, you mentioned, with Simon Bolter having a good fight as well. Bill Rutter's just done a personal best lap of the race. Jake Doherty back ahead of Martin Kemp again. That's for 9th place now, of course, with the demise of Richard Jenkins. So there is Jenkins into the pit lane, as we were just mentioning him. Sadly out, but I don't think he's going to chat to Hugh Davies by the looks of it. But anyway, here's a possible change here. Chris Goff and Ollie Collett with 1 minute and 50 seconds to go onto the Cowell straight. Goff to the left-hand side of Collett here on the way down to Hatchett's hairpin. We saw Goff very quick in here on the very first lap of the race, and he gets the cut back, and I think he's going to get through here. He's going to have the inside line for Spitfires. That's nicely done by Chris Goff. Well thought out move. He goes up into 3rd place. And has 4th place, I should say. Yes, and has he maintained a tidy line exiting Dibeni in the crossing? It looks like he has. It's just a touch on the curb there, which briefly unsettled the car, but certainly not giving this one up, Ollie Collett in the Falcon. Looking for a way by at the Senna S's, but he will probably need to carry this on to the next lap. Now, top 2, much closer than they have been. Peter Bove and Mark Glover, the gap's come down to, well, less than a second. It is. Now, they might get 2 more laps out of it if they're feeling generous, or it might just be 1. It was going to be pretty marginal as to whether they get 1 or 2 more laps out of this, I think. We'll wait and see. But Mark Glover, 6 tenths of a second behind Peter Bove at the start of this lap. No improvements in lap times, actually, from either of them. Both in the sort of 3s and 4s that time, as though they may have had a bit of traffic to do with. That's the shark of Alan Bunter, number 28. He's in 12th position, so they've already lapped, 15th, 14th and 13th, therefore, as things stand. There's Bove down to Brooklands hairpin, and the Glover's not really making any impression at all. In fact, Glover seems to have dropped a long way back. Has he got a problem?
It's bizarre, that is, because he was 0.6 of a second close to Peter Bove at the start of the lap, and now less than about half a mile on from that, all of a sudden Mark Glover's pace has completely disappeared, Ian.
Yeah, we've got the checkered flag being made ready though, so it's all academic. Peter Bove is going to take the win and win round 4 of the 2022 Raceparts 750 Formula Championship. A sort of slightly recalcitrant Mark Glover, second in the end. And who's going to be third? We think that's going to be Richard Rothery, but he's quite a long way behind. He's just coming into Honda corner now for the final time. And it is going to be Richard Rothery in the PRS, number 17, that takes third position. Fourth and fifth, with that late move for Chris Goff to get ahead of Ollie Collett, has served him well. He's got fourth place, Collett fifth. And I think it's going to be Bill Rutter in sixth. I mentioned the battle he was having with Simon Bolter, and again the baton came out on top of that scrap. So sixth Rutter, seventh Bolter, eighth Matthew Unwin. Then I think it's going to be Jake Doherty ninth, and Martin Kemp will round out the top 10. They've got nearly a lap left to do though, because they were, in fact no they've not, they're almost here. It's making a liar of myself. Jake Doherty's just going to come through to take ninth place, and Martin Kemp to take 10th, although they were obviously quite a long way behind the race leaders. So plenty of drama in that race. Peter Bove winning it by 4.8 seconds. That does not really tell the story of it though, I don't think, Johnny.
No, I'm amazed how much sort of different chopping and changing of the narrative they could include in 15 minutes there, because there were all sorts of different battles, cars at times limping and then finding pace, and then vice versa as well. And 4.8 seconds rather belies Peter Bove's difficulty in winning that race.
And the subplot of the lap record as well, and how often that was exchanged. It's gone to Peter Bove in the end, a 102.74. He's also won the race, probably more importantly, in the number 1 car. 14 laps completed, and he was 4.8 seconds clear of Mark Glover in second place. Third went to number 17, that was Richard Rothery. Fourth to number 2, Chris Goff. Fifth to 31, Ollie Collett. Sixth to number 15, Bill Rutter. Simon Bolter did win his class as one of the less experienced drivers in this championship. He took 7th place in number 6, ahead of number 39, Matthew Unwin in 8th, and number 5, Jake Doherty in 9th. Martin Kemp rounding out the top 10. And then we'll get to the cars that were a lap down or failed to finish. Alan Bunter, Martin Depper, Paul Mason, Richard Jenkins and Hugh Davis. So the 750 Formula Championship, that is going to continue at Snetterton in a few weeks' time. They have a triple header there at Snetterton. Let's head down to the pit lane. Hopefully we'll hear from our top 3 with Josh.
So we're down here with Peter Bove after his victory in the Raceparts 750 Formula Championship, and a new lap record as well for Peter. We'll let him take his helmet off and then we'll grab a word. I'll give you a garland while you do that, Peter. But a close battle that was between you and Mark through most of the race, and you had to keep pushing each other to go quicker and quicker while racing each other as well.
Yeah, sorry, yes. I was because it's so bumpy around here and this is a really stiff car. I don't sound all Formula One, but I was really struggling to breathe at points in that race. So Mark kept closing in. I got held up a couple of times, that made it worse. So glad to see the checkered flag at the end. I don't know what happened to Mark on the last lap, but yeah, it was a good race.
A 102.74, so you got well under a second under Bob's lap record.
Yeah, shh, because Bob's daughter Lisa was warning me if I did that, she wouldn't be very happy. I won't say exactly what she said, but it wasn't a good thing. But yeah, we haven't been here for quite a while, and the cars have got a lot quicker in the last few years. So yeah, it's good.
Well done, Peter, and you kept that winning tradition and fastest lap tradition going. We'll quickly grab a word with Mark before the next race starts. Mark, you managed to keep up with Peter. The car's going well today?
It was until the last lap.
Right.
Something went bang, and which is why I failed that little bit. But yeah, I was pleased to finish after not starting yesterday.
Yeah, well done in second. Next car's already onto the grid for the next race. That'll be for the Demon Tweaks and Yokohama Low Cost Championship.